I can think of only one thing that could lift my spirits right now. Beer.
Beer. Beer. Beer. Beer.
This is Drink of Ages on ESPN 97.5.
The only show dedicated to craft beer, spirits, and music.
Here's your host and luminary, John Denman.
John Denman.
All right, live from House of Blues, Houston. This is Drink of Ages radio show on ESPN 97.5. Hope everybody's having a great time. We're drinking some really good beers up here. And got some woos from the audience. Always.
You got a woo guy? We're waiting for the yeah guy.
The woo guys are always good. Yeah. The woo girls are a little bit better, but we'll take whatever we can get. So it is the world's only show that sits back and drinks nothing but the good beers and has nothing but badass music playing. And our music guest today is going to be the Powell Brothers. You will hear them playing live here at House of Blues, and there's some more woos. Yes,
a lot of woo guys today. A lot of woo guys.
And so, we have the Powell Brothers, our music guests, and then our brewery guest this week is Bobby Harl from Back Pew Brewing.
I'm waving, but radio people, I waved at you. People who are watching the odd video, I obviously waved at you.
So one thing I did forget, Tom Painter. I'm John Denman.
Yeah, we're always here.
We're always here.
But the Powell Brothers,
wouldn't have a
these
quarter
guys,
show.
that sound check was it's like we're in for a treat.
The Powell Brothers. If you haven't been following them too much lately, you definitely need to look them up. I know a lot of people have. They've exploded over the last year and a half, 2 years, and they're playing stadiums all over the country, doing a bunch of badass stuff, and they make some great music. So it's pretty kick-ass they're going to be playing here.
Yeah, it's going to be a good. It's going to be a good time.
I mean, behind us.
They're going to be playing right behind you, Bobby.
I'm trying to get the radio people. So behind us is about 2 feet behind my chair, so we're really close. It's like creepy. I feel it, and I have no musical talent at all, but I'm really good at listening, so I'm looking forward to it.
I've got a that I do every show. It's pretty good.
It's kind of like a shaker.
Yeah,
he does like a shaker sound.
Yeah,
we haven't figured out how to implement that into making the show better, but it just happens. And it's
Galveston Island was here last week, and we had a whole kind of thing going at the end.
Oh, nice.
Well, once all the beer started hitting.
That will
the
happen.
shaking started.
That show got a little fuzzy though. So,
well, if you do the shaker, you need to get John a vibraphone. It's an under respected piece of instrument. You just whack it. It goes bah.
I can definitely do that.
It's really fun.
Guys, we need to get back to beers. Speaking of beers, what are we drinking?
We're drinking some Chola.
This is Chola. She's back. Their second year doing Chola. She got a little refresh on the can design. It's a Mexican-style lager. It's our interpretation of it. So basically, we went back. We're a German-style lager brewery primarily, and the core of Mexican lagers is German beer. Some Germans came over to Mexico, and the Mexicans said, "Hey, you want to brew some beer?" And they said, "Sure." And so they basically took the Vienna lager, moved it over to Mexico, and over time it's changed a little bit, but we went back a little bit more to the core. So, but this year just turned out effing fire. We're on the radio. It's fire this year. So if you haven't checked it out, it just hit last week. It's going quick. So very excited about it, and it's great to showcase more lager beers in the Houston beer world.
Oh yeah.
So nice, beautiful, filtered, clear, beautiful golden beer.
We're the right market for it, for sure. John and I were talking right before the show, because this is our second, now his third, and it's like, John, what type of beer is this? He's like, well, it's an easy drinking, all day, light, refreshing. It's like, I noticed you're not saying what it's like, I'm using a lot of adjectives, Tom.
Something.
You can drink it all day.
It's an easy drinking.
Well, that is the point. That's the goal. That's the beautiful thing about lager beers is you love to drink all day, right? And so if you love to drink all day, it's a great option for you. It's not going to wreck your palate. It's going to be beautiful, easy drinking. And the cool part about it was it was a fun one to do. I actually stayed away from the Mexican lager for a while just because I was like, who's going to buy a Mexican lager from a white dude in Porter? And so it took me a while to figure out how.
Other white people in Porter?
Yeah, but that's a small subset of the world, believe it or not. And so How exactly do we do this the right way so that way other people, besides just getting like absolutely hammered for it, can we actually identify with it? And it actually was brought to us to do this. It wasn't really us. They were like, hey, check out this artwork. Wouldn't it be great if you called the beer Chola? It was actually a Hispanic female. I was like, yeah, that'd be rad. I didn't know how else to do it because a lot of people have attempted it, in the craft beer world. Tom, you're familiar with this. A lot of people have tried the Mexican lager. How do you really make that work? Especially you're immediately going to go up against behemoths, Dos Equis, all those dudes.
Sure.
Their marketing budget's more than my revenue on a yearly basis. So, what do you really do with that? And I think that this is really something cool where it can harken back to, it identifies with Houston. If you check out her tattoos on the can, there are a lot of the Back Pew tattoos, Houston tattoos. You'll see the Court 45, stuff like that. And then, so there should be some pride there that, yes, it's a Mexican-style lager brewed in Houston and, for our market. So it should be really something pretty cool.
It is such an easy drinking beer, and which I've
And I got to make more lager beer, so I'm happy.
yeah, and Bobby, you love making the lagers. Let's just be realistic here. That is what
We got a big one coming. Yeah, a big one.
Oh, the Rand.
Me beer. That's a blonde Doppelbock, 10%. Beautiful.
Should we save that one for the last segment?
Yeah, I'm just saying it's coming. It's a lager segment. Well, minus this crazy fucking thing, but
I know.
Yes, minus the crazy thing. It's a lager segment. So I was all excited. I was like, man, I'm coming on. I'm throwing the lagers. Let's do it.
The two beers you brought, like Rand, which congratulations on the anniversary.
No, thank you. 5 years.
5 years is actually pretty huge,
Especially since one of them was COVID.
Well, does that really what even happened that year, right? I mean,
It happened. No, I mean, between the awesome support from Houston, Porter, the surrounding areas, we made it through. Pretty much every brewery made it through in Houston, mostly from that support. I mean, there was a lot of things that factored in with that, but while not a great year by any means, we watched a lot of our customers really suffer. Especially, we have multiple avenues. That's one great thing about being on the brewing side. We can sell from the tap room. We can sell the go beer. A lot of folks couldn't. So
it was a year for growing pains, I would say.
it was interesting. A lot of movement in the personnel area, and I don't mean just like getting rid of people, but a lot of people took this opportunity to move around. People who weren't that enthralled with the business, as you guys know, maybe said, you know what, maybe I don't like this business as much as I thought I did. But then again, there were people who proliferated. You guys had Josh Alad, who's now moved on. So he took.
I don't know who you're talking about.
who?
Well, I mean, he went from just a dude posted on Instagram to it was a really cool transition.
So Josh is an incredible beer photographer. We hired him right before the pandemic, and I remember giving him a 2-week schedule of all right, 2 weeks of training, then we're gonna hit the ground running, and then right when that training ended, the pandemic began throughout whatever. But there's a lot of we lost our head brewer during the thing. We didn't lose him. He went over to Great Heights, but he was getting really stressed because it was an incredibly stressful time especially when you're a brewery like for us, distro, and we have no bars to distribute to. We have a keg castle. I mean, you guys, same thing. Spindle Tap, the same thing. It's really challenging times. But now I think a lot of us are in better places now than we were before. But it's kind of only it's a hard year. But you learn to go a little faster, move a little quicker.
Oh yeah, yeah. It just changes. But overall. Hey, it's any business. It's a challenge.
There's a lot of
we're not
bobbing
the
and
only
weaving.
people. Of course, if we were in the corrugate business or the aluminum can business, we'd be really good. Or if we were HEB, we'd just be counting money. But we decided to make beer instead, so at least we're happy.
Yeah. And then John just took a 1-year break from radio. He's just like, this is a good year for staying on the couch.
I felt like it was going to be a good time to take a vacation, and so unfortunately,
Without
pub
the
shut
actual
down.
vacation.
Yeah, without the vacation. Well, I mean, there was some vacations in there. Some very socially distant, awkward, just get in the woods, go run around for a few weeks. But no, it was a really good time to take off.
Yeah. reset for sure. Really appreciate, because now that life is kind of returning back to normalish, right? People getting vaccinated, people are coming back. Well, actually, I went to Back Pew like a couple months back, and like Porter, Texas, much like Katy, Texas, it's enough in the outskirts where it's like, the people are ready to go,
Well, and having outdoor facilities like ours is hugely beneficial because everybody's jazzed up and ready to rock. So, it's been, like I said, the outpouring of support for somewhere to go. People are looking to do stuff. I was just joking with my ops guy today. I was like, summers for the beer industry is always interesting because everybody thinks, everybody's buying all this beer. I was like, well, kind of, but normally people travel. Last year, people didn't travel. There was nowhere to go. Like, I'm going to go here and sit in my car, and I'm going to go here and sit in my car. So they didn't go anywhere. So it's a little bit different. Now people can travel, but I think, unfortunately, America's still on most people's lists of you have to quarantine for 14 days when you arrive. So it won't be international. I think Canada still has the border closed even, so you can't even go see the Canucks. I mean, what the hell? But I think there will be a lot of interstate transport, which will be really fun. I think we're going to see a lot of people coming through that, like also looking to travel. So it's going to be a cool year. A little bit different, but finding out a lot of cool stuff about the U.S. that maybe we've forgotten. But that's all to say that you need a lot of beer to do that. I mean, fuel for your car, beer for your fuel.
Well, I mean, beer tourism has to be getting to an all-time high, and I think this year you're going to see a whole lot more of like, let's go places where we can bounce around to a bunch of breweries and hang out, try a bunch of different beers.
For sure. Also, Texas specifically, we're getting an influx of so many people from other states. Yeah. I mean, our head brewer that we hired last summer, he's from San Diego. He used to work at Carl Strauss in South Park and all that. So but the California migration is real, and that, well, I mean, those people are thirsty AF. All those places over there have a very high brewery to people density, right? So, and that's only going to impact us in like a pretty fantastic way.
So thirsty what you're saying is that it's going to be a really good year.
I think it's going to be a really good year. Well, just like people get really excited to go out to our brewery, and Back Pew does this too, of like live music, right? Like it's like, it's been so long since I whatever. And these are just the people that are at it now, and like there's still people that are slowly coming out of their shells, and once they come out, it's a good time.
Well, the good thing about Back Pew is that you have like 14 acres.
Yeah.
That if you really just like, you know what, I feel like having a beer, but I don't want to be close to people, you can go in that back corner and be 100 yards away from everybody.
You don't have to worry about touching.
It's the perfect place for
a
craft beer Airbnb. Just throwing it out there.
We've been asked a lot of times to have like I can't remember what it's called right now, but basically where people with campers and stuff could come and like just randomly camp out, and I was like, That seems like a lot. They're like, no, you just need a place where we can dump our tanks and all this. It's like, yeah, it's a lot more than I thought. Like, so no, we can't do that, but it would be fun. One day we might be able to, but today is not that day. But we've been approached with that on multiple occasions when people have shown up with their RVs and giant diesel pushers and stuff. I was like, oh man, I don't know where you're gonna park. They're like, oh, we'll just park in the back. I was like, that seems like a poor. I mean, like, I want you to hang out, but just for a little while.
People have
like
done that in our parking lot too.
Camping at a brewery, I think, is a great idea.
Well, I'm thinking the brewery just has like a few Airstreams and just has their own bed and breakfast thing only on the weekends.
It could be fun. It's something that it's an untapped market. It's an untapped market.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break and let's listen to some Powell Brothers because they're one badass band and they're about to get on stage and play some music. So. This is Drink at Ages radio show, and yes, we're going to go drink some beer over here while they go up there and play.
I've been on my own for long enough. Maybe you can show me how to love, baby. I'm going through drugs. You don't even have to do too much. You can turn me on with just a touch, baby. I look around and see cities cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. Can't see clearly when you're gone, gone, gone. I say, ooh, I've been lied about the lie. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I say, ooh, I'm driving in the night. When I'm like this, you're the one I trust. Running out of time, I can see the sun light up the sky. So I hit the road in overdrive, baby. Yeah, the city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. Can't see clearly when you're gone, gone, gone. I say, ooh, I'm blind about the line. I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I say, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. When I'm like this, you're the one I trust. Yeah, I was coming back to let you know I could never stay on the phone. We'll never let you go this time. Yeah, ooh, I've been blinded by the light. No, I can't sleep until I feel you. I say, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. When I'm like this, you're the one I trust.
New Magnolia Brewing, a great place to bring the family and your dogs while enjoying some excellent beers. Lots of parking and a great outdoor area. Crawfish Chris is back this Saturday cooking up crawfish and all the fixins. Look for New Magnolia beers at H-E-B's and find them at Total Wine the weeks ahead. Stop by New Magnolia and see what we've been talking about. Great beers, great place, and great people. Search and follow New Magnolia Brewing on social media platforms for special releases and events. Weekends are a great time to check out Megaton Brewing in Kingwood. Jared, Chris, and the gang have created a badass place to kick back and enjoy a few beers. Big stouts, approachable sours, and plenty of hoppy brews are on tap at Megaton. Lots of space to hold your birthday party, corporate outing, or any event in one of the most unique tap rooms in the Houston area. Check them out on social media for their concert and event schedule. Megaton Brewery. Hope to see everyone at the Vault. Key T Wellness, our friends down in Dickinson, is where you need to go if you're feeling sluggish, non-energetic, and non-motivated. Not just when you're hungover. Get to know your numbers. As we get a little older, our hormone levels change, men and women. Key T Wellness can help. Weight loss, hormone optimization, low testosterone, B12, Botox, and more. Stop in and tell them that you heard it on Drink of Ages and get a free B12 shot. KeyTWellness.com. Why not feel your best again? KeyTWellness.com. Enjoying tonight's show? Have a vision you need to make a reality? Reach out to Hell and High Water Productions. I did. Jason and the crew produce each Drink of Ages YouTube show. Corporate events, concerts, commercials, live streams, they have the skill and technology to make it happen. Come Hell and High Water, they are here to serve you. Give them a call at 832-356-9701. Special announcement from Platypus Brewery. F off, mate. The latest taproom release is an American Hefeweizen that is chalky in appearance, generously dry hopped, imparting citrus and stone fruit flavors in a light and refreshing beer. Very easy on the palate. Also hitting the taproom at Platypus is Rough End of the Pineapple, a pineapple jalapeno sour. It sounds crazy, but it works very well, especially when you pair it with the chicken wings. Food specials all week long, including Chicken Parmy Tuesdays, Surf and Turf Wednesdays, Texas Barbecue Thursdays, and Fish and Chips Fridays. PlatypusBrewing.com, open Tuesdays through Sunday. Have an event in mind and looking for a place that is fun and beer is involved? Host your next event at a brewery. At Spindletap, they have full venue rental and partial rental options that are perfect for company events, birthday parties, weddings, receptions, and more. Host a memorable event at a venue that offers a fun atmosphere and many amenities. Email info@spindletap.com or call 713-325-1477 to get more details. All right, you are listening to Drink of Ages Radio here on ESPN 97.5. We are live at House of Blues, Houston. Just got finished listening to some Powell Brothers.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. I was waiting on those.
That was not the Powell Brothers.
I'm John Denman, Tom Painter, co-host. Bobby Harl from Back Pew is our guest for this week's show.
Hello.
And one thing that also want to congratulate you on 5 years.
Thank you.
Rand is absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, our anniversary beer.
We will get some of that.
Our anniversary beer, yeah. It's, keep talking, and then I'm going to interrupt you with a brewer's favorite sound.
One thing that happened also in Bobby's life is he recently got married.
It's true.
I saw that.
2 Fridays ago.
It was very not
Very
that
recent.
long ago.
No. But it's all bliss.
Still, right? I mean,
Well, it should be.
yes.
I think it caught that well. Hopefully it caught that nicely.
Yeah, so congratulations on the whole wedding thing. It's kind of, she knows you own a brewery, right?
Yes, she does. And the biggest joke amongst her friends and everything else is that she's a wino, not a beer person. So they're like, so you're a wine person? She goes, yeah. And you married a brewer? She goes, yep. They're like, you couldn't have chosen like a wine person. I was like, it's called a vintner, but no, she chose a brewer. And so it's a whole lot of fun though. A quest is to find a beer that she likes. Turns out she's into sours, so that works out. It's like when Gangplank's around, she really likes Gangplank. So there are beers she likes. It's just not it's not lagers, it's not IPAs, it's not red ales. It's things more on the spectrum of wine, which makes some sense. Yeah. Sours kind of get to some of that kind of that direction. That said, she also likes some oddly sweeter beers, which is shocking because it's kind of the entire different flavor palette. So you're saying tart sub 3.4 pH beers or lactose beers, which is an interesting thing for me being a lager guy. So Rand, we just popped that. That was that beautiful sound. Whenever you hear that sound, some brewer somewhere gets a woody. What it is Rand is a Belgian Golden Strong that was fermented in fresh American oak barrels for 3 months before being put into the bottle to bottle condition and to make all the carbonation. So the cool thing about it is typically Belgian Golden Strongs, you get some phenolics, you get some of those, so this cloves, spice kind of character. But with the wood, it really helped mellow it out. You got a lot of wood character. That's what she said. Which means that it mellowed out. So it's not like French oak, it's not butter, but it really gives a lot of the really great first things that you get in a whiskey. It kind of came into this beer and really helps round off the edges. It is 9%, but it's not overbearing. Very, very cool product. But we'll see what you think.
My hairs on my arm went up, which is a sign that it's delicious.
Or ABV. One
Well,
or the other.
it could be both. I mean, it
sign
could be
my
both.
liver's
It
working.
doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be both.
Yeah, we came out the day before the anniversary party that you guys had. We came out and you sampled Rand for us, and Jason, our videographer, production manager over here, he took home a case. And
Yep.
so since then, he'll just send me a picture of him drinking Rand.
It's
He
fantastic.
said he just told me he was almost out, so he was worried about getting more. So he's going to come and re-up here shortly.
Are you telling me he hasn't been sober since that day he went out to Back Pew?
I mean, what
That's,
exactly
that's
is so
subjective.
Jason's in
You
for a
can
world of
measure it,
hurt.
but-
He's trying to. He needs more, otherwise that hangover is going to kick in.
I'll be honest, man. That day at Back Pew, I mean, it turned into night, and I think this has continued until this show.
Oh, you were the one that wanted to bring the RV on and sleep on the property. Okay.
Well, there were some people camping that night.
There actually was a
That
camp out that
actually-
night.
Yeah,
There actually was a camp out
a
that
brewery
night.
camp
and
out that
it
night.
just got fueled by Rand, which I don't know what kind of party. Well, I can imagine what kind of party that is. I've been to. I mean, we camp out at Renfest every year. I have a good idea what kind of party that is.
Renfest, I think would be a pretty good gauge of how a brewery camp out would go.
It would. I mean, if it's not, I'm sad for the people who camped out. I hope that that's how it turned out because that makes me happy. Yeah, we just got some feedback that it was indeed that way.
I was real close to spending the night that night because it was porter.
Well, you also started with some Hapazunas, which was
And-
a little heavy hitter there. And you were like, yeah, I'll just have a couple of these. And then he just went from 8.7 to 9. And then he had a couple of those. And he was like,
Gotta start off strong.
Well, I mean, if you don't start out strong, you can't. Then the middle, you do the middle strong, and then you finish strong. And that just means you did the whole thing strong because you're not a pussy. So that's just the way that works. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, Tom, you run.
I
Some
do
people talk
run.
about pacing. I think the really hardcore guys are just like, nah. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just going.
Well, I
No,
mean,
I
everything's
just
a
running.
pace.
If your pace is 3.5 minute miles, I think you're just going. They just cranked it up. They went to 11 and just went.
There you go.
Seems like a reasonable
that's-
joke to
that's-
make in
that-
House of Blues.
That's how you get a PR. Next week we're gonna have Brock on here, and I run the Houston Half Marathon. And St. Arnold they have a booth right at mile 12, right before I'm so addicted to all this liquid goodness.
Right
I'm
before all
I'm
the-
running that
The
thing.
true pain happens.
Right, and
Mile 12.
it's mile 12, right? It's right before the end, and I see it. And I immediately turn in. I'm like, oh, beer, very good. I'm like, you idiot, you gotta get back running. So, I think next week I need to
Get it when you're done. Not now. You must wait.
I liked when St. Arnold sponsored the Beer Mile, which was like 3 or 4 years ago now at this point. And there was an event that was down 288, the Sportsplex. And there was you had to chug 5 St. Arnold beers throughout the whole course, but you ran or walked like me a mile, and which I found that a lot of us walked the mile. And
I'll bet there's a lot of people who from 0 to the first 1/5 of a mile ran reasonably quickly. And then after that, they're kind of like,
people
oh.
right out the gate. They're like, I'm first, and then they're
Yeah.
quickly like, okay, now I'm last.
Or they didn't make it at all.
Yeah.
Those are those overachievers. That's what you get.
I don't know. Tom does all these marathons. You did one in Austin this last weekend. You did one New Orleans the weekend before. I mean, it was just
Yeah. Like during COVID, speaking of beer miles, John served as a ref on we got very bored and very like you miss people. Only people you see are the people you worked with, like during especially like last summer, the heart of like everything. And then at one point it was a bunch of us were like, hey, we should do one of our buddies' wives went out of town, which immediately turned to, hey,
it's time for a party.
let's do something really stupid. And so we had we set up in this guy's neighborhood, Garrett, who is the main owner of No Label. We set up where it was like, oh, we're gonna have a cooler of beer in one place, and 1 kilometer down we'll have another cooler of beer. And everyone starts. They drink their beer. They run a kilometer, drink another beer, come back, and basically you'll have like 5-6 beers.
Was it
and
beer
you'll
cricket?
Run 5 kilometers. What?
Was it beer cricket, basically? Like a long beer cricket?
Well,
How many times can you do back and forth?
it was a craft beer 5K.
Okay.
And in order to go to the next kilometer, you had to finish your beer. So
Like
it was
that.
kind of so you had to stand wherever you were, finish the beer, then start running.
Ah, nice.
And so
And
John,
I didn't run. I
No.
drove the cart and videoed this whole thing. Just oversaw.
he was like John was like the ref. He's like, no, you don't you start moving until you start finish that beer. And
Tom puked.
I puked
Yep.
while running,
Yep.
but I won, which
He did
is
win. I don't know what he won, but
Pride.
The best was the last person as they're running through after doing all that, right? Like a 5K, chugging all the beers, get to the end, open up the ice chest, and there's nothing but perpetual peace for him to drink.
It's nothing.
Well,
He
that
said
makes it a
things to us
little
that
tougher.
can't be said on the radio.
Carlos
I mean,
was there.
you know, if that's what you got left, you gotta man up and get it done. That's what you get for being an overachiever.
It was definitely fun.
So I think what Tom's trying to say is we need to talk about doing a beer mile over at Back Pew because
Yes, with this at the
plenty
end.
of
Well,
space.
it's difficult because we do have the space, but really where you want to run is down sorters. And if you've ever been down sorters, you don't want to run down sorters. So these big, heavy things are called sand trucks. They carry large amounts of sand, and they're heavy. And you as a person would just kind of be like a mosquito to most vehicles. And so it's a really bad thing. Like every now and then you see somebody brave enough to try it, but they're like off in the woods, kind of thinking like, "What the hell was I thinking?"
Can we build a track, around the property, and it might
We could try. We could try.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm down for it. It's just most people have told me that they don't like running in circles. I was like, well, that's what I got. Well, it's kind of like a square. So if you don't like circles, I got squares. Like, whatever. You do you. If you want to cut the corners off, you got yourself an oval. I'm not going to judge.
shortcuts.
Shortcuts.
But yeah, it would be fun. And the one that we did that was down there, I mean, it was a really good time. At the end, there was like a DJ, all this stuff going on. My nephew won the costume contest, and all these crazy things were happening. And then it just never happened again in Houston. So, it needs to happen. No Label would be good as well.
We were talking about this a couple weeks ago, just randomly, that you put on one where you were like, John's sitting here, and he's just like, how hard is it to just like rent out Allen Parkway, have some police officers, have a park downtown, end with live music and a band? It seems pretty easy. It was like,
Then he started
nothing about
calling.
this that sounds easy.
Then he started calling some people. It's like, oh man, I have to do that. So real quick, I know the segment's almost over, but let's give a shout out to us introverts. 2020 wasn't that bad of a year, okay? We persevered, us introverts. We had a good year last year, minus maybe some other things. I'm going to give everybody out there a shout out to us introverts. We had a great year. We handled it like champs. This was a good thing. I was like, I don't get it. I mean, yeah, so I didn't have to go in some awkward situations. I didn't have to force myself out of my box. It was a good time. I caught up on some Netflix.
2021 is going to be a reckoning, my friend.
I know, I'm screwed.
but,
I'm like, oh man, like people want to talk to me again. They're trying to hug me. Like, oh, I got to deal with that again. No, not that I don't like that, but just gonna throw it out there. We talked about we've gone down on 2020. That's what she said. And but we need to bring it back to say that us introverts, we kind of love 2020. We don't want it all the time, but know that we secretly are going. Wasn't a bad year.
I'm not
It was
that much
pretty
of
good.
an introvert, but I will say there were
No, you're not much at all.
some great things that happened, last year. I mean, for one, in Texas, you can get beer and alcohol delivered from restaurants.
Yeah, that's pretty rad.
Yeah, that's one
good.
thing that is actually really huge.
But not on 11:45 a.m. on a Sunday.
Well,
We're working
the
our way
Sunday
there,
laws
one
and
step
something
at a
we need to
time.
change. One step at a time.
One thing that us drunks know is that you can't go more than one step at a time because if
Introvert
you do,
introvert drunks.
you're coming right back down 3 or 4 steps.
it truly is like one step forward and 3 steps back. But yeah, getting the alcohol delivered was big. What else happened in COVID?
SpaceX met the International Space Station. I know that because I was running PCR at the time. Nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about.
I'm proud of you.
Tiger King.
But it was good. Tiger King happened. Everybody forgot about that. I know that 2020 probably happened because of that bitch Cheryl Baskin.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, I think it's time to listen to some more Powell Brothers. This is Drink of Age Radio Show here at House of Blues. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.
me close and let me go. And I'll suppose you miss me the most when I'm together. We'll say goodnight. Leave on the line. Fingers unwind. Don't say goodbye. Sounds like forever. Sounds like forever. Sounds like forever, forever, forever. Here at the sign, first look at your heart. Soon I'll be gone. In a plane flying over the sun on your shore. Just hold me close and let me go. And don't suppose you miss me the most when I'm together, together, together. We'll say goodnight. Leave on the line. Fingers unwind. Don't say goodbye. Sounds like forever. It's not forever. No, it's not forever, forever, forever. It's not forever. It's not forever. It's not forever. Whoa. It's not forever, forever,
You may have noticed there have been quite a few changes at No Label, and they are steadily pumping out tasty brews. With their new head brewer Trailer bringing in his West Coast brewing skills, taps have been flowing with lots of hoppy deliciousness like Cali Boy West Coast IPA. I'm real excited about what they're doing on the west side. Tap Room is open 7 days a week, very family and dog friendly. Make the short trip to Katy and see what is happening at No Label. Follow them on social media for events and beer releases. No Label Brewing Company. Fresh off the canning line at True Anomaly is Go Flight with 4-packs available now. This is a hazy IPA through and through with loads of soft and juicy tropical fruit flavors contributed from the Mosaic, Citra, and Galaxy hops. If you're heading out to watch the Astros, Rockets, or Dynamo, stop by for a beer before the game. True Anomaly is walking distance from all the stadiums. Don't have a ticket? Come and watch the games in the tap room. Trivia every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. and DJ Cherry Like Bounce is there Thursdays to help bring in the weekend and get the new beer pouring strong. You can book the barrel room at True Anomaly for your next special event. They can also accommodate business meetings and happy hours. Check out their website for a booking link, trueanomalybrewing.com. Valentin's Brewery is a small but growing family-owned nano brewery in Pearland, Texas, making award-winning beers in all different styles. Always something new to try on tap. Bring the family and the dogs while enjoying the spacious backyard while the new tap room is being built. If you're into the sour stuff, Valentin's is releasing 2 Berliners, a pear and an apple. These beers are like adult Gatorades. Make the short drive to Valentin's and try some award-winning, very tasty brews. Valentins.com, VALLENSONS.com.
Hey, this is Blake Harris, the general manager at Rudyard's British Pub. Just want to invite you guys out to our Thursday night steak and pint night. It's $25 for a 16-ounce New York strip, party potatoes, Caesar salad, and a free pint. As well, starting at 7 o'clock, we've got $4 pints all night long. Right now, we're doing about 20 on draft, and in the near future, we will be increasing that number. So come check us out. We're at 2010 Waugh Drive in Montrose.
All right, welcome back to Drink of Ages radio show here on ESPN 97.5. I'm John Dinman.
I'm Tom Painter.
Tom Painter. Bobby Harl.
I'm Bobby Harl.
You are Bobby Harl.
I practiced that.
We are hanging out at House of Blues. Man.
Powell
Bobby,
Brothers just killed it again.
Apparently, we just killed that keg.
That's a shame.
It's
a shame.
Yeah, we were throwing down a lot of Chola, but apparently we threw down a lot more Chola than...
The problem is we could have thrown down a lot more Chola. I like to think about the future and the potential of what could be. I'm a glass half empty kind of guy.
Well,
that doesn't make any sense, but I just like the future.
Yeah, looking across the table.
I'm on the radio. Like, I don't know how to fill time. I don't know what to do.
You fill it with Shiner Box, Modelo, and whatever that can is.
It's time for me beer.
Right there.
All right. Beer segment time. Me beer. We just canned this yesterday. So here's
fresh.
a little bit about how this happened.
Put it with the mic.
So, Me Beer.
Close one.
For those of you not playing the I'm watching at home game, the Me Beer branding might strike a chord with some of you who are familiar with fun movies. And so, no, I didn't do it just because I wanted my name on a label. It just happened to be, very fortuitous that way. Me Beer is actually, it used to be called Back Pew Brewing. Back Pew Brewing is our blonde Doppelbock. We used to do it only for Oktoberfest, and I wanted to bring it to market. As you know, Leo has come on with us, and what I hear a lot about is hazy IPAs. Hazy IPAs, hazy IPAs. As all of you know, I like filtered, beautiful beer. So it's a very hard conundrum to be in because hazy IPAs sell. But so do beautiful golden lager beers. So what I said was, I'm doing a beer for me, and this is that. This is a blonde Doppelbock, 10%. Beautiful. It's decocted. It's lagered. It's just absolutely beautiful. And so we had to give it the appropriate branding. As well as these 16-ounce cans come to market, you'll notice that if you're not first, you're last is accompanied by a shotgun hole. So you and your friends have fun. Just don't drive after because it is all of the 10. In fact, it's about 10.3%. So enjoy that. But it's a beautiful, beautiful lager beer. Like I said, we were getting a little bit. You heard the Rand little pop there, the Brewer Woody. This is a true just brewer beautiful elegance beer in terms of everything it can be. Now, interestingly, people have asked me what's different between that and Satyrs. Well, Satyrs is a more traditional Dunkelsbach. Here's a little bit of beer knowledge for everybody. So Dunkelsbach, you're going to have more amber colors to it, more of your caramel notes. They're coming maybe from some caramel grains, but it's that darker, more amber color. This blonde Doppelbock is different in that it is a more like straw hay-colored beer. All the color derived from longer decoction. Yes, I said cock. I think I'd say that on the radio. Whereas a traditional Doppelbock will be more of a even deeper amber color. So it is a different kind of Doppelbock, but I think just especially for the Houston Heat, just beautiful. And so you don't know it's 10.3%, but you certainly will feel it after a couple. In fact, one of my delivery drivers took some home to his girlfriend last night, and she went through the full range of let's just say she ended on I'm never drinking that again. So it was a good night. And
Sure.
This is Monday. It was a good Monday for him, and so he was stoked.
Full circle.
He was stoked. She was not. He had a great
She'll be
night.
back Saturday.
She has
Don't
regrets.
worry about it.
No,
What do you guys think?
I will tell you this: it doesn't drink like the high ABV that it is, and
Yeah, what's up with all these deceptively dangerous beers?
No fusel alcohols. That's fermentation, baby. Holy shit! You guys have given the science dude the microphone. Y'all need to step in sooner, or else y'all are gonna lose some viewership. I don't know, or listenership, because it's pretty soon they're gonna be like, PBS turn.
okay. Or I can say this beer you'll end up after a couple of them not wearing pants.
It happens.
That's
I
how
saw
you
that.
get viewership.
That happened to me last Saturday. I had 2 of them, and then I was very comfortable.
Well,
And I didn't know why.
Recently married and all.
It was at the brewery. It was just after hours.
It was at
I
the
don't
brewery.
know. They told me to go home. It's my brewery. It
That's
was a weird situation to be in, but I took their advice.
when that moment happens, you have had too many.
I did. I had 2. I can still count them, and I still could count them. I proved that. No, but that is the really brilliant thing about high ABV lagers is that because of the crisp cleanness behind it, in any large ABV beer, when done correctly, you don't have the fusel alcohols that burn that you get from maybe inferior spirits. They often come in a plastic jug. You get that little bit of burn that makes you go, college. That burn is what we call fusel alcohols or higher alcohols. They're alcohols non-ethanol. Ethanol relatively is flavorless and it doesn't really burn. Once you start to feel those and taste those and your eyes burn a little bit, those are what we call higher alcohols or fusel alcohols, and that usually comes, at least in the beer industry, from fermentation-based instances. So that is one of the key things, and I think it's really important to do that. Obviously, I'm passionate about this. We have a limited amount of time, so should you want to wax intellectual, come visit me at the brewery sometime. For now, we will just suffice to say that is a really fun way to drink large lager beers is when you don't know that you're drinking large lager beers.
Yeah. I just went to school. Kind of got a headache.
Fill us in, Tom. Fill us in.
This is Drink of Ages. We're talking about beer, damn it. And I'm going to talk about beer.
I just went to my mind's eye.
This is why I'm only on here once a year.
The only problem is that it's like the third segment.
We took a year-long break, so let's.
We should.
This is what happens. The first segment, you'll notice I'm quiet. Second segment, I start to say more goofy things. Third segment, I'm going like, all right, here's what's wrong with this, and here's why I love this. And the sad part is it's not alcohol fueled. I don't know. I guess I get more brave. I don't know what happens. But
and
either way.
The bonus segment will be a masterclass.
I don't know.
That's when Bobby takes the stage and he grabs a guitar.
No, we don't want that. No, we don't want that. We'll have the Powell guys behind me. I'm like, oh yeah, look at me. I'm playing a guitar. And you guys are going to give me like the tambourines. I'll be like, yeah, it's a guitar. No, I've seen a guitar. But I know I can't play one. I don't have the right fingers. Tri-clamps, golden. Guitar, nah.
Not so much.
Not so much. Let's leave it to the professionals.
Now, this beer is really good. And
Delicious.
is way... I say this a lot about, like beers. I'm like, man, that beer is pretty easy to drink. But for the ABV on this one is way too easy to drink. And I will say if you pour it over some vanilla ice cream, it would be even better. I mean, just
Oh,
that much better.
Reinheitsgebot, my
John,
friend.
are you thinking about dessert?
My Reinheitsgebot.
Usually.
No, so it's launching next week. We held it because Cholo's out right now, but just know that it's going to be hitting. But before then, you can get it at the brewery. It's a very small launch, so if you're interested in trying it, which I hope you are because it is really delicious. I want you to get a chance to try it. Get it because it's kind of once a year thing, and so very excited about it. But I wanted to come share it with you because we just canned it yesterday. So with the very stupid branding and everything else, I figured it'd be up y'all's alley.
It's delicious. But you know what's also delicious is that Rand. Where did that bottle go?
You know the thing is,
It's over there somewhere.
Yeah,
Rodney got a hold of it, which means I don't have much faith. There's much less.
Well, it's gone now.
He shared it. He says he shared it. So let's trust him.
It's
he's
gone
he's a
now.
trustworthy fellow.
It's lost to the ether.
Well, what else is happening over at Back Pew, man? What's coming up?
Here in a couple weeks, we have Nightbird, a Fleetwood Mac tribute band. They are awesome. So we got that going on, which we're pretty excited about. Like I said, this last week we launched Chola. This upcoming week we will launch Me Beer, unless you come to the brewery, in which case you can get it there. Here in a couple weeks, we're going to have Hapazuna launching to market very soon. And the big thing, actually, that I wanted to talk about briefly is people who I hope you're familiar with Hyperlight. It's our ultralight style lager beer. We match Michelob Ultra for carbs, calories, and ABV. The difference is ours is gluten reduced, and we are the official beer of the Texas VFW. So when you buy our product, we give to the Texas VFW, so you're helping veterans. We've been told that people don't like buying 6-packs of that because it's not enough. And so we're taking up on your challenge.
pack.
We're about to launch 12-packs. So we're going to do that right before Memorial Day, and so we're going to do a big push for that. So show us that all the effort we're about to put into filling those damn things is not to waste. But very seriously, it's a cool thing because we've raised a lot of money for the VFW. We want to raise a lot more money for the VFW Foundation. It's a great beer for being a lager beer, being a light lager beer, and it has a great attachment in the Texas VFW Foundation because they really do help veterans. So just know it's coming when you see it. When you're thinking about picking up Miller Lite, Bud Light, Coors Light, Michelob Ultra, I can tell you we're very price competitive, and just know that it's going back to your Texas veterans. So it's a very exciting thing.
Supporting a local brewery that's making a really great beer.
It's a win-win-win all around for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely that is my golf beer.
It works. I mean, it's
Well,
the
it
nice
should
thing
be
is
your
it tastes
golf
like
beer,
beer.
John.
It tastes like beer as opposed to
I'm not
nothing,
saying
which
that
is nice.
I mean, it works in one way. It does not work in a lot of ways in my golf game. But.
My golf game is really cool, actually. I drive that cart like a mother. Like I just get that mother. I get it right in there. I stay on the cart pass unless they tell me I can go on the fairway. I'm awesome. You take me with you golfing, I'll keep that shit right
Just
in line.
Be the designated golf cart driver.
I've done that life.
But I won't wash your balls.
On that note.
Well, it's been fun. I'll see y'all next year. That's once a year. I made it. It was April. Usually this is a March thing, so they punted me a little extra. But no, it's thanks for having me, guys. I want to appreciate. Hey, thanks to staff here at House of Blues. Big shout out to those guys. We just appreciate that. And but now I guess you have to close it out properly. I just wanted to thank them very much for coming.
No, man, it's always fun hanging out with you, Bobby, because you always throw out different insight that we normally don't get on the show. And then when we really start talking about beer, I like the way you describe the beer.
We need to get you and those True Anomaly guys together in the room. It's like the gatekeeper and the keymaster.
Those guys, yeah. I don't know if the world can handle that just yet. The beer world. No, it was fantastic. We're going to kick back. We're going to talk to the Powell Brothers for a little bit
right.
and figure out what they have going on coming up that everybody can go see. But you guys are open. What's the tap room hours?
So Friday 11 to 9, Saturday noon to 7, and Sunday 1 to 5. So come on out. We also have, of course, we have to-go beer orders at any given time, but yeah, no, those are our times to come out, hang out with us. We got 14 acres, kiddie play place, all that good stuff. Plenty of space to spread out and live music on Saturdays. So come see us. We're really not that far, I promise. It's not that scary. We're just off 59.
All right. Appreciate you, Bobby.
Beer's delicious. The place is good. Everything you want in a brewery.
Ending comments.
Ending comments, yeah.
Any comments?
Got up at 9 to 5, ain't feeling fine. Another day is history. Got a good book at home for when the day is done. Can't wait to spend the night quite late. Well, so why don't you stay? Give the night a stay. Come and have a good time. intentions, I give into directions. Finally said I give it a shot. When I got there, I was stopped by a beauty I never seen. Oh, maybe you think too much. Maybe you said too much, yeah. What you do to me? I'm myself today. No, I can't complain, yeah. Brings it out of me. This party's going off, and I can't get enough. Is this it up? This not this time. I got this girl beside me, and I think she likes me. Think about paradise. I know she might be a little wilder than me. I think I will be alright. 1, 2, 3, no more for me. Okay, fine, just one more time. I got it under control. I gotta worry about a thing.
John Bargerstock from KT Wellness is back with us. And John, tell us how testosterone replacement therapy can be beneficial for those who need it.
Great question. Well, a lot of guys think that it's just treating an area below the belly button region, but actually what it is treating area from head to toe. There's a lot of, symptoms that can creep up over the years because of the deficiency, but really what it helps is a multitude of things. It helps us with our mental clarity and staying focused throughout the day. It helps us avoid fatigue and be energetic throughout the day. Of course, it helps our libido and performance in the bedroom. There's studies that show it's great for the heart. It has a multitude of benefits, and of course there are risks, but the benefits far outweigh those risks.
So that's what you guys do at KT, though. You can come in, get your numbers tested, and see if you're actually a good candidate for this.
Yep. Actually, we make sure everybody qualifies for treatment before we offer that treatment. We don't just allow anyone to come in off the street and get testosterone therapy. It is a therapy, which means we bring people back to normalized, and I like to use the word optimized levels, not just normalized levels. So if they're deficient, we check their number. We verify that with a blood test. There has to be presence of symptoms. And then we put those two pieces of information and decide whether or not this person is a good candidate for treatment.
Well, that's fantastic because John and I, we kind of share birthdays. He's one day before, and we just had it. And so we're getting older, and things aren't, it's not quite like it
Recovery
used to
time
be.
is not as quick as it used to be.
Yeah, no, of course. But no, it's it's something every guy should know their number, where they are now, because with each decade of life, our levels drop anywhere from 10 to 20%. So it's a pretty drastic change, once you hit your late 30s and beyond.
Well, you can find out more information at KeyTWellness.com, and this portion of the show, the Men's Health Minute, is sponsored by KT Wellness. Unlock your potential.
Thanks, John, for having me.
Okay, guys. I don't know, I got the music playing. Like
I don't know. We were just saying Lambo over and over.
I know. Now we're sitting here, man, with the Powell Brothers. Man, how are you guys doing?
Well, we've been very busy. And, man, it's just getting started. The rest of the year is looking absurdly busy.
Well, one of the things that I saw even last year, like during COVID, is that you guys would pop up and do weird, all of a sudden you're playing a festival or like a football game or something like that, man. You guys have been all over the place.
It is, honestly, it's never ending. It's just looking for opportunity, finding it, pouncing on it, chasing it.
Also, part of that started, we're just kind of workaholics. We don't really like to take a day off, but we like going to sports games. And so our manager said, hey, if I can get you in to play a pre-party or sing the national anthem, you're still working, but then you can go enjoy yourself as well. And so it kind of started as just a joke, and then ended up doing a bunch of stuff with, I guess we have stuff coming up with the Astros, and we're singing the national anthem at a, was it Detroit Tigers game? Kind of soon, next month?
Rangers, and we've done stuff with the Padres, and let's go.
Man,
Rangers, Yankees. That'll be a good game.
Timeout.
Hey, they've been very kind to us.
But
Nice
anytime we're on
fun.
the road, if there's a game on any of the stretch that we're on and they need somebody to sing or a band,
That's crazy,
we're
man.
happy to do it.
I mean, but I was looking at your tour schedule. I mean, you guys really are all over the place coming up. I mean, you're about to really hit the road.
So yeah, next month we head to where we're in Omaha and Kentucky,
Omaha.
kind of middle America, and then we come back here for a couple weeks, and then we go northwest for a little over a month.
Yeah, we'll leave July 2nd. We're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and then the 4th in Kentucky, and then we just leave, and then we come back in like mid-September. So
and we're finally getting to scratch off a bucket list item for a lot of country bands. I think if you meet anybody who's ever gotten into country music, they'll tell you there's one artist they always want to play with, and that's, of course, Flo Rida. And so we're getting to play with him the day after my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are playing with Flo Rida. That's going to be bad. That's gonna be,
I've had 8 conversations
badass.
about how to say his name. I apparently did it wrong the first time on the radio.
No, it's really crazy though, because I saw that, and you guys are like just really taking a bunch of tours all over and playing a bunch of different stadiums, playing a bunch of different events.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of traveling you guys have coming up.
Sure is. And luckily, I guess we hit 500,000 miles on our vehicle right when COVID started, and so we've been slowly rebuilding it this whole time, and it's about to be ready, which is
We've
perfect.
made it better than before.
Yeah, but literally stripped it down to the frame, rebuilt the engine, redid the entire interior. Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Massaging seats, the whole thing, right?
One day we'll get those. We looked into them. It broke the budget.
Man, no, I've known you guys for a little while, man. It's you guys always play badass music, and to see the success that you guys have, it makes me happy, right? Because like when I see you guys, I watch videos of you playing at these stadiums and doing these different things. Like, man, I know those guys. Those are my friends. It's great.
Oh man, and you've known us for a long time. You knew us when we were playing small rooms, empty rooms, all the way up. Like it's
I
been.
remember one time you played Drink of Ages.
Dude, we played Drink of Ages a couple
Bro.
times. Yeah. I've never played Drink of Ages and somebody not taking their shirt off mid-show.
Are you trying to tell me I need to take my shirt off?
No, that particular individual is not here, unfortunately.
That's true.
It's one character.
And I remember watching the Cubs win the World Series from Drink of Ages.
Yeah.
Yep, that we remember sitting there having drinks and watching that whole thing happen, and Bill Murray's crying on the TV. This whole thing.
Yeah, we were there. Also, the first time we ever saw Zombievers was also at Drink of Ages, on the other side of that spectrum.
Quality shows were always on the big screen. There's that one scene where
I don't remember much of the show. I just remember being like in shock of like, wait, this is real?
Yeah, no, man, I appreciate you guys hanging out, man. It's always cool to sit back and have some beers with you.
It's a pleasure.
Always great to see you.
Congratulations on what you guys have accomplished, and man, I can't tell you how proud I am, and just look forward to continued success for you guys.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much,
it, man.
It's a pleasure to be a part of your program. We always look forward to seeing you, working with you. We appreciate you letting us be a part.
Yeah, we just enjoy. It's great because like we get to spend maybe a couple days a year with you, but then people think we know a lot about beer. It's just we just absorb everything in those 2 days, and then just hope that carries us through a year.
Well, when you have somebody like Bobby on, that's gonna, it's like, man, I learned something tonight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not just we floated the keg and how to drink even more beer. I mean, he actually taught some things. So
yeah,
it's really good. Where can what's the next thing that's coming up that people can watch you guys?
Oh man, we take it one day at a time. But if you go onto our website, we got our whole calendar and you can find it. But do you know?
Well, I mean, we're playing in Conroe this weekend. And
Yeah.
then we have a private party somewhere. But then the next, the next
Day at a
thing
time.
that I know what's going on is, we leave so much. Our next thing in Houston after this weekend is the Singing at the Astros game.
Oh yeah.
But then we're not playing in Houston for a couple months.
Yeah.
I think until summer's over.
Wow. So
It's kind of weird. Like, used to we only really played in Texas, and now it seems like maybe a third of our shows are in the state of Texas. Like, we're just out of state so much, which is great because, like, we love traveling and, like, eating and drinking different stuff all over the place, and it keeps it exciting. Because if not, I just go to the same restaurant and drink Shiner all the time. I've got to get out.
Way.
Yeah.
update. We're going to be at Rodeo Houston.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're doing an event for the Houston Rodeo Wine Garden.
Yeah, on May 9th.
Okay, so May 9th we'll be here. This is why we have a manager and a schedule.
And just sending text messages as we're talking.
Yeah, he's listening and going, you guys, I told you you're supposed to promote that.
Yeah.
Never listen to my voicemails. Sorry, Chad, we don't.
Man, the Powell Brothers, look them up online. Their music's all over the place, man. Enjoy them. Go watch them whenever they come to your town. And, man, appreciate you guys hanging out tonight at House of Blues.
Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure to be here, sir.
All right, I want to thank everybody for listening to this week's show. And if you want to listen to any of the old shows sponsored by No Label Brewing Company, you can find them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and various dark places on the web. And everybody be safe this week. What are we doing next week? Oh, next week we'll be here. St. Arnold Brewing Company, Brock Wagner is going to be here.
That's a good one. Heck yeah.
Music by Photon Mechanics. It's going to be a good time. Cinco de Mayo show.
Oh, that's going to be wild.
Let's go.
Yep. All right, everybody be safe. Talk to you next week.
It's gonna be tough, is what he said. You'll be in the sun and dash upon the rocks in the same bed. So you gotta be tough, you little man. You got a ways to go and you ain't gonna get there clean. Turn the pony up, put your working boots on. You're gonna do what you wanted to, so who's gonna say no longer? I won't like it, ain't gonna be easy. Ain't no kissing, good things don't come cheap. Stoke the fire, keep on digging, because most of what you're digging may seem cool and amazing tough. You still being heated, you're on the road to better days. You can outlast the sun and outlast the rain. In a lot of hardness things, babe. all yours. Throw it in the back, put some miles in the review. And I'm telling you the gospel truth is what they did to see it. Do some buckle up, son. Hold on tight. Today you're spinning your wheels, tomorrow the speed of light. Come on, come on. Slow the fire, keep on digging. Most of what you're giving, they see coming, they see tough. You just feel the pain when you heat it up. You're on the road to better days. You can outlast the sun and outlast the rain. Ain't a lot of hardness in vain. Let me tell you, son, soon you're gonna show us how this love, yeah. Whoa. What you give it, amazing stuff. You just feel the wind and the heat of. You're on the road to better days. We can outlast the sun and outlast the rain. In hardness seems vain. Let me tell you, son, soon you can show us how this love, yeah. Thank y'all very much. Mike Smith on the drums, Blake Sessions running sound. My name is Taylor Powell.
My name is Blake Powell.
We got the Powell Brothers. Thank you for letting us be a part. We appreciate you. Cheers. Thank you.